friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to part 4 of our How to Make a Mini Album from Scratch series. We are working once again with Stamperia. Welcome home. This is a gorgeous collection. I'm totally loving working with it. And we've already made, in tutorial 1, we made the chipboard covers, the tabbed spine, the signature. In tutorial 2, we did the tags, and we did the front piece and the end piece. In tutorial 3, we did a walkthrough of the first signature so you can see how everything flows, and we got about halfway through the second signature. So today we're picking up in tutorial number 4 with this double page spread and pull out folio on a little flap. So very fun one to start with. If you missed tutorials 1, 2, and 3, I will put the links in the description box below, as well as a link to my blog where I have a linked supply list. So if you want to make the same project, you can follow along. So today we're going to do the double page spread. We're going to do the final page with this fun pop out element. We're going to do the flip flap pages in the center, and we're going to make the little pull out folios in the side pockets. So let's go ahead and get our craft on. So you can see this is a 12-inch wide piece of paper, and I trimmed it to a height of 5.5. I put my bottom edge on my cutting tool first and got this front part of the house, and it worked out perfectly. We just cut a little wingtip off of that bird. So 12, 5.5, score at 5.5, score at 11. I'm going to fold on my scored lines, make sure I'm straight. All right. So I'm going to start over here on the right, and I'm going to put my adhesive direct to the page. I'm just double checking and make sure I'm right side up. And I'm going to line this up, top and bottom, and press it down. Then I'm going to put my adhesive on this page. All right. And I'm going to fold this over and press it down. And now I can close this and crease it with my bone folder, and we put that whole page in there so that we get the entire seam. See that? Pretty cool and not hard to do. You just do one half then the other half. If you try to do the whole thing, you'll end up with a mess every time. But this works. Okay, we've got this. This is kind of fun. This is an 8.5. This is from the 8x8 pad. And I've trimmed, so it's pretty even. And we're going to do our little nifty trick of scoring in between. We're going to fold like this. Now we can come in. Make sure we're straight. Okay. Trim this little extra bit off. And put adhesive. I'm going to actually put it on my flap. so that I don't run the risk of gluing my little pull-out page here. So now look, this, whoops, yeah, this will go like this and line it up here. Okay, so there we go. That's kind of a fun little feature. Over here, I'm going to take my birdhouse, and this is chipboard, but we're only doing one piece, so I don't think it's going to get us in trouble. So our birdhouse is going to go right there. Then I'm going to take my wellies. So cute. I'm going to put them right here. And then I've got this watering can, this wonderful rusty old watering can. I wish they had done more of this image. It's wonderful. And then put this right here. How cute is that? So that finishes that page. All right, my friends, hang with me. We have to get a little innovative here. On our back page, I've cut this because I'm out of 8x8 paper. So I've cut this 8.5 by 5.5, and then I scored it at 5.5 to make this little flap. Here's a scrap. This is cut from the collectibles, and I've cut this to fit the flap, which is 3 by 5.5. And then I took this sweet little image of the plant pots, and I'm going to glue this flap back behind. So this is a little bit different than the first one, but only because I ran out of 8x8 paper. I should have bought another 8x8 pad, which I will probably do. So let's adhere our flap behind. All right, and then adhesive on this. And then this glues on to this. That's so pretty with all that purple. All right, so now this flaps open like this. You've got a journaling space here, and you can build a little scene with something here if you like. Then on the inside, I've cut to go over here from the green. This is, I believe, also 8.5. Let me see. No, this is 8 by 5.5, and then I scored it at 5.5. This part glues down to our page. Like this. I think I went 5 3/8, y'all. Let me double check that measurement for you. Yes, I went 5 3/8 for the height. Okay, so on top of this, to cover this up, I've got this piece of, this is a border piece left over from the double tip-in page. And this is going to go on top to cover up the clocks. But before I do that, here's our door, and you can see I've left extra paper on it. We're going to lay it on our scoring tool. And score a flap. All right. And this flap is going to go behind our patterned paper like this. This time, what this means is that because I thought of this ahead of time, we don't have to add that extra strip. So this is, you know, the second time you do something is always easier and better. So here's our little door. This flips open, all right? And we want to bring in one of our little pups. Let's see if we have a cute little puppy. Yeah. Let's put him right here on the door. Our little spaniel. I don't think I have a smaller one. Oh yeah, I do. I have a paper one. That's perfect. So I'm trying not to add too much bulk. So he can sit right here. And let's say there's a hot air balloon behind him in the window. That's cute. So I brought in his little friend, the kitty, too. So now we turn this page. Let's take the milk bottle and this bundle of lavender. And let's bring in a rub-on to dress up the milk bottle. It's going to be really pretty. Look how pretty that is. That was a good idea. So we'll put this one down first. We have to clear the fold. Okay. Okay. Let's just scatter maybe some little I'm going to stick this back behind there. But you don't glue over your flap because that's sad. And over here on this flap, this is 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. This is just another scrap. And then I've got this glass jar. And I've got this potted plant. I've got this little bird house. And then let's have this little bird coming in. So that takes care of that. All right, friends, I want to add this little pop-up element to our flap here. So I've taken a die-cut window, and these are great because there's a line in the middle that you can use as a guide to fold in half. All right, so get it folded in half, nice and neat, and then crease it well. Place it right here in your turn. Take adhesive and put it just here along this outside edge. And then close the flap and press. Open the flap. Place adhesive just here and close the flap and press. Now you come in, and where you've creased, you're going to close, you push it forward and you close the flap again. And now you have a pop-up. See how cool that is? That's the easiest way I know how to do it. So you can either do home is where the heart is down here below it, or you can do this little teacup border. I don't think I'm going to do the teacup border down here. I might add it at the bottom of our page. So for where home is where the heart is, I've done the same thing. I've folded it in half. I'm going to place adhesive just here and close my flap and press. Then I'm going to place adhesive just here and close my flap and press. Then we open this up, we pop this out. These little ones are harder to do. And then you fold again. And now you've got a pop-up. Isn't that cute? So over here on this part of the page, I'm just going to take this fussy cut. This is from the inside cover of the 12 by 12. And I'm going to put these big teacups down. And that's all we're going to do there. If you want to add a little butterfly right here, you can. Just put your adhesive right here. And the neat thing about these butterflies is that they're printed on both sides. So you'll get a little bit of the butterfly wing here. And if you want to add a little something right here, like a potted plant, that one's kind of big. This one's probably a better fit. You can add that right there. Okay, so that finishes this, I think. Well, no, we got to do, got this, we got to do something right here. So let's just keep this super simple. Let's take a little house and let's take a little teacup house. That's cute. Let's put Home Sweet Home up above it. All right. So I think that is the maximum number of flips and flaps. I've got another little key and lock here that we can add if we want to. Just like we did on the front. I'll show you how I did that. Give me a moment here. So I have burlap string. I'm going to run it through my key, run it through my lock, pull the tails through, line it up where I want it to be, and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive there to hold it in place. I'm going to tie a knot. I think I must have bought 2 packages of the chipboards because I have duplicates of a lot of things. All right. And I'm just going to put my adhesive right here. All right. Oh, that guy does not want to stay stuck. I might have to get out the hot glue. All right. I think we'll be okay now. So I'm going to let everything set up and then we'll install this in our book. So I want to work on this little guy right here, and I've cut a 5 by 2 3/4 inch piece of my lavender cardstock. And then I'd cut this is just a scrap. This is like 6 5/8. It's just a scrap. And it's 1.5 inches high. And I'm going to layer this over so that it's straight. And I'm going to fold flaps to the back. Like this. And I'm going to glue my flaps on the back. And then I'm going to glue this whole piece down over a little flap that we made. Now we can come in with our tag, and it's going to sit in there. So on the piece below, I'm going to take this piece. I'm not going to worry about the pocket. The pocket was a bad idea. It's too narrow, and I don't think anything really fits in there. See, I just think we're going to pretend like we didn't do it that way. So now that we've got our little belly band on here, I put this border of the teapots and teacups. Now on the bottom, this is what we're going to do. I've taken a 5 by 4 3/4 inch piece of my green cardstock, and I scored it at 2 3/4. I lined the top with a little scrap that's 4 3/4 inches wide, and it's 2, but you're not even going to see all of that. I added little gussets to the sides down here, and this is going to become a pocket. So we're going to put our adhesive on our gussets just like we always do. And we're going to fold this up. All right. And then this is going to glue here. Just like this. All right. looks good. So now what we can do is we can take our tag, we can put it through the belly band, and we can drop it down into this pocket. And then it just pulls out. Now you have to watch out for your book pocket, so put the book on the front, all right, so that it doesn't get caught in that belly band. And then across the top of your pocket, find this wisteria piece. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off each end. This is from our cut-aparts. And that should fit pretty good. Yes, and then just glue this down. Isn't that pretty? And then you can take home. This is a chipboard piece. And put it right here. So now this will turn as a whole page, or when you take the tag out, it will do the flip-flop thing. See? So that's kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And now we're going to flip to this piece on the back. Before we do the back side, which I've already lined with our 2 3/4 by 5.5 of green and 2 3/4 by 5 of our purple, I want to go ahead and add our little signature in. So I'm going to put my glue along the top edge of each side of this tab. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that I don't do anything too bulky on that little flip-flap page. All right. I'm going to temporarily take our insert out because otherwise it gets glued in and that's not good. And I'm just going to slip my book over the tab on each side, and I want to leave, opening this so you can see what I'm doing, I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch clearance so that the page will turn easily. And I'm just pressing this down. I'm making sure I'm straight. I'm straight on this side. Let me turn over here. Come a little bit more. All right, that looks pretty good. So now let's put all of our little flips and flaps and folds back in place here. All right. I think we're good. That looks really good. Okay. Oh, look, this turned out to be a little chunky monkey. We're just going to be able to close this with a ribbon closure, I think. So that's awesome. So we're going to keep this real simple. I'll put these back in when we're done working because otherwise they're gonna get in the way. I'm just going to put these aside for the moment. Let's lay our book out nice and flat. And that's why you leave that little extra piece there, because they'll lay flatter if you do. All right, we're going to keep these really simple. And I found some scraps of paper, and I've trimmed them to a height of, hold on, these are 2.5. And these are just scraps. So I'm going to lay this piece down first on the top. We're going to keep, we can't do a lot of bulk here, guys. If we do, our book will not close. We're at maximum capacity. And then we can take this one and it can go here. is always good. And then I think I have a little teacup house that will fit right here, which is cute. All right, and so this is just made with scraps. And once again, the way we're adding in our little bits and pieces helps cover up the fact that this was joined, which is always a really good trick. See? All right, then on the bottom, this is a four and 3/4 inch wide. I'm going to put this on the bottom. And then I've got this like distressed crackly piece. I'm going to tuck in behind it to fill in the gap. Just like that, only straight. Okay, then I took our little bicycle and I had to flatten the tires because otherwise it's too tall. But I'll show you how we're gonna fix that. Because if it's too tall, your flip-flap page won't flip and flap. And if that doesn't matter to you, then just treat this like a standard page. But if it does matter, all right. And then I'm going to take a couple of little posies, really tiny ones. Put them down on the spokes. And then you don't notice so much that we flattened the tires. And then we can actually take a larger one and put it up here. All right, guys, that finishes the inside. Maybe add a little wee flower right there. And I'll show you, I took the bookmark and I matted it just on white, and then it will tuck down in this page. So there we go. We actually close. It's a miracle. All right, so for our little insert, I have cut just from a scrap of green. This is a 5 by 5 1/4. That is what fits best in the pocket. So then I went into my scraps and I cut a 4 3/4 by 5 inch piece of this pretty wisteria type paper. And you can put it, you know, figure out what direction you like it. I kind of like it like this, but that's just me. So you do what you like. And when you glue this down, you do want to make sure that your edges are well secured, because if they are not, there's going to be a tendency to stick, to get caught. And what I want to do is take one of these little clocks and I want to fold it in half. I'm going to cut it. It's just occurred to me I should have actually done this first, but I think I can still lift this and slip that under there without creating too much havoc. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this And I'm going to slip it down inside so that it just barely pops out like that, even down a little bit more. Then I'm going to flip this and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to match it up like this. All right, and so what we've done now is we've created a little pull tab, which is cute, right? So here I'm just going to take this sweet little fussy cut house and this goes like this, and I'm going to nestle it down in here with the vines, and then I'm going to leave the rest of it blank so that I can add some lines, you know, from a poem or a song or something. And then on the back side, I had to paper piece because I'm working with scraps. So again, the width of this is 4 3/4, and this is a 2.5 inch piece that I had left over. And then this piece is also 4 3/4, and it is just a little over 3. So I'm going to put it down first. All right. And then I'm going to glue this piece over it. Whoops, not that low. And then we've got this precious image of this little house with all the milk bottles and stuff. I love this collection, you guys. It is so happy. Even though I still have a stuffy head and I'm dragging from this cold, it makes me happy. All right, and we're just going to put this right here. Seal it down really well. And then where you have overhang, just come in with your scissors and snip. Okay? So now this is going to go in this little spot right here. And see how cute that is with that little pull tab? That's adorable. So I've cut a 5 by 5 1/4 piece. We're going to take our little clock. I put these little border pieces on the side. These are just scraps that I had left, and I trimmed them to 5 1/4 inches tall. We're going to take our little clock. We're going to cut it in half. And we're going to glue this half so it's just sticking out here. And then on the back, I already put this down. I don't know why I do that, y'all. All right, there we go. There it is. I lined this up, and I'm just going to put some adhesive back down there. This little lavender panel is 4 3/4 by 5. And then this little image I've trimmed to fit. So that's our little pull-out page. And if you want to do the blank side so you can add a photo there, you can. But I'm not doing like a photo album. I'm doing more of a lap book. Sit down with a cup of tea in a cozy chair and just enjoy looking at the pretty pictures. go. And then this will go right in here. Boom, just like that. Okay. All right, friends, that is it for the inside. We are completely done. So this is the end of segment 4. Come back tomorrow for segment 5. We'll add the ribbon closure, the spine, and the covers, and then we're done. Can you believe it? All right, thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love to have you come along for the fun. Share the channel with your friends. The more the merrier. I'm gonna clean up and go get my craft on. Bye.